Hello developers and welcome back. It's Chris from Moralis, and in this video we will be looking at spinning up a Moralis server so you can take advantage of what we can offer to you as the ultimate Web3 development platform. All you'll need to do to spin up a server is create a Moralis account if you haven't already done so, and then log in. Once you've logged in, you'll be taken directly to the server dashboard page, and from there you'll be able to create a new server if you don't already have one. I've got 6 currently. You'll normally with a free account only get access to 3, and when you upgrade to a premium account or more, then you will be able to have more servers. But most people will fit within the 3 server limit, so you should be fine if you're just getting started. Now, on the left-hand side, you've got some different options. This is the server page that we're seeing right now. We've got the Web3 API option for you, so you can go and take a look at all the different endpoints that we have available for you to be able to hook into with your application. And we're looking at native balances, NFTs, transaction history, all different types of options here. And there's some really fantastic resources that you can take advantage of. These endpoints for the API are also part of our SDK, which you can call from within your function, within normal JavaScript functions within your application. And we'll go through that in another video. The Web3 alerts are coming soon, and our speedy nodes are available for you. So there's Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, Polygon, Arbitrum, and Avalanche. And by the time you come to watch this video, perhaps there's different ones there as well. Okay, back to the server options. Across the top, we've got 4 buttons here. The first one is for documentation. If you need any assistance, then that will be the first port of call. And then if you do get stuck implementing any of these functions into your application, go and put a message into our forum. Our forum team are there pretty much 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to help you if you get stuck. There's also the Moralis DAO, the Discord community channel that you can join over here, and our YouTube channel is available up the top. On the right hand side, you can change your account settings, change your password if you need to. There's also 2-factor authentication as an option that will be enabled, and you can use these tools here to embed that into your application as well. Super important. And when you do need to create a brand new server, if this is blank for you, for example, just simply click on the green button here and you'll be presented with 3 options. You can either create a mainnet, a testnet, or a local dev chain server. Now, all the differences here are based on what information gets pulled into your database tables. Now, if you choose mainnet server, what that will mean is that every time a user interacts with your application, it will pull in information from that user based on their main net usage. So for example, it will pull in their transaction history, it will pull in their tokens, and it will pull in their NFTs from the main net. If you choose testnet server, then it will automatically pull in that information from their test nets that they're interacting with, and the local dev chain server is for the local dev chain interactions. Now, it's not to say that it will only use that information. It's just that when you populate a new database, that's what automatically gets pulled in from a user. You can add as much information to your database as you like. So we're going to use the mainnet server just for this example, and feel free to experiment with the others if you wish to as well. So under the mainnet server, choose a name for it, whatever you like. Choose a region closest to you. It will be the mainnet that we've selected, but you can change it here as well. And then you can choose the chains. Now, our servers are cross-chain by default, and at the moment we have ETH mainnet, Polygon mainnet, Binance Smart Chain mainnet, and Avalanche mainnet. Perhaps there are more options by the time you come to view this video. And so you can click all of those, add the instance, and after a few minutes, the server will spin up and it will be ready to use. And you'll have a panel that looks something like this. You can expand the panel by clicking on the 3 dots over on the right. It gives you some more information. But the server name is here. The details are accessible here, and the version number is here. This current version number is 272. The most up-to-date version, I believe, is actually 278. So you can update your server as and when you need to, depending on what new functionality you want to take advantage of. So let's just look at the details first, because whenever you need to connect to a new server with Moralis, you're going to need to choose, or copy and paste, should I say, your application ID and your server URL. And you'll need to do that in every new application that you create. And this is where you find that information. So under the server details, you've got the server name, the server URL, the server application ID, or just the application ID. And you can copy those into your clipboard by clicking that button. Now, sometimes in the more advanced developments, you'll be required to pass through a master key, or you might need to find that in your application. And this is where you will get that information here. The dashboard user and the dashboard password. Now, that's really if you just ever needed to log directly into your database externally, rather than going through this admin panel with Moralis. I haven't needed to do that yet, but if you did, then this is the username and password that you will require. I'll take you into the dashboard in just a moment and we can see the database tables. We can also get our CLI API key and secret. You might not need to do that straight away, but if you, for example, wanted to interact with your Moralis server using the command line interface to do things like writing cloud functions from your Visual Studio Code editor directly into your Moralis server, you'd need that connection, that bridge, and you'd require your API key and API secret. There's already some documentation around the CLI that you can use to interact with that if you need to. And then there's the MongoDB IP as well. Just moving along across the top, the settings, that is if you need to create your SendGrid account to send a verification email to new users if they sign up, or have them reset their password if they need to do that as well. There is a video that's produced recently by Malik that will help talk you through the SendGrid setup, and this is where you would use that page to put in your details. EVM configuration is choosing the chains. This is a server that's just specifically for the mainnet only on Ethereum, but yours might have more ticks in these boxes. The sync page, now that is really if you need to watch certain smart contract events. If you're looking at pulling in information when a particular event fires or triggers on a smart contract, this is where you could watch that and it will automatically pull that information into your database. Super powerful tool. Okay, so that is that. And then if we just expand the server, and down the bottom left-hand side, we have some buttons. The first one is to delete the server, pretty straightforward. Update and restart the server. That's also pretty straightforward and will be useful to do if your server is a few versions behind, for example. The dashboard is the database, and there are some other options available. If we click on that, this particular database is not very big, but there are automatically some tables that have populated here because I have some users that have interacted with the app that I built using this server. And as soon as a user interacted with it, there was data that was pulled from those users into these tables, the ETH balance, the token balance, and these users don't have any NFTs, but if they did, then they would appear in this table as well. So I'll just show you another one, for example, that maybe does have that data. Let's go and look at maybe server 2 and load that one up. Might have a few more users. It does. Okay, so there's quite a lot more users, and you can see the tables. ETH NFTs are in there as well, and this particular user has only really or this particular group of users has only interacted with the Ethereum chain. So it hasn't pulled in anything else from Binance, for example. So these are your database tables, and all of the user details will be stored in here automatically as soon as a new user authenticates with your website, and you'll have the details that will be stored in here. You can create new tables as part of your application. I've created this, for example, this portfolio table in this one, and creating new classes and adding new data of any type of data into your classes is very, very straightforward, and we have very extensive documentation helping you do that. So that is the dashboard. And the last thing just to mention with the dashboard is that if you need to do some error checking, for example, with your backend cloud code, then you can do so under the logs section here. There's also an API console for REST, GraphQL, and JavaScript if you need it. And you can take care of the webhooks and the jobs. But the majority of the time you're really going to be spending is in the browser window and the logs window. Okay, so that is the dashboard. The plugins. Now we currently have 2 available at the time of recording, which is the Fiat on-ramp plugin and the 1-inch DEX or aggregator plugin. There might be more by the time you come to watch this. To install a plugin, super simple. You just click on it and then add it to your application. There'll be a button that will appear. And when you authenticate a new application or initialize Moralis in your application, it will automatically enable the plugins. So there's not really that much work that you'd need to do other than just install the plugin that you want to use and then use it. So that will be the plugins. We also then finally have the Cloud Function panel here, and you can write Cloud Function code directly into this window and it would save into, you'll be able to use it from the front end, and this will be the panel where you could write as many Cloud Functions as you would need to and find them here anytime you like. So that, guys, is a quick crash course on how you would create your server. Once you've got it, you then just need to go on to the next step of initializing Moralis and connecting it to your application. So that will be covered up in another video and another section of the documentation. But I hope this was useful. I look forward to seeing what you create with Moralis, and we'll see you in the next video.